someone less capable than you just got something you deserved. It could be a role, a budget. It could actually be a seat at a table that you've been working towards. Now, you're probably sitting down there thinking, how does this keep happening? So here's the thing. They didn't beat you on merit. They beat you on three things. Three things you've probably been dismissing as shallow. Number one, narrative control. Number two, strategic proximity. And number three, risk perception. Those are not politics. Those are skills, and your refusal to develop them is costing you more than you know. So that's what this episode is all about. It's not a complaint, it's a diagnosis, because once you understand exactly how these works, you stop being surprised by them and you start doing something about it. Come on, let's get into it. Welcome to Workplace Multiply, a podcast for ambitious professionals and senior leaders who want to turn their proven competence into visible career advancing results without burning out. In simple terms, they want to win at work and in life. I am Tola Akinshire. I'm a C-suite executive. I've worked in Spanish, French, and English-speaking countries across Africa and Europe. I sit in rooms where promotion decisions get made. And I also mentor senior professionals who are tired of watching less capable people move ahead of them and not understanding why. So in last episode, we talked about how power moves in organizations, the trust map. We talked about access, sponsorship, and timing. Today, I want to do somewhere that most people will not go out loud. We're going to name exactly how less capable professionals beat more capable ones every single time. And I know what you're thinking about. Let me just be clear about this. This is not about politics. No, it's not. It's about three skills. Three skills you've probably been dismissing, and that dismissal is hurting you and your next move up. So let's picture this. You're in a meeting, or maybe you hear it through the grapevine. You know the grapevine, the breaking news channel for the hottest office gist. So newsflash, you hear this. She's got the role. He's got the project. She's got the recognition, or of course, he's got the reward. And your honest private reaction is this: that person is not better than me. You don't say it loud, yeah, because you're a team player, right? You can't, because also, if you do that in that moment, you sound bitter and you sound like someone who cannot accept the outcome. And literally, you sound exactly like the kind of person who should not be promoted. So you know what you do? You go quiet, you work harder, you tell yourself, next time, my results will speak for themselves. And then it happens again. Look, the problem is not just the outcome. The problem is this: you don't have a diagnosis. And without a diagnosis, you cannot change the result. Today, I'm your doctor, and here is what I've seen. And I've seen it more times than you might probably want to know. When someone less capable keeps getting ahead of someone who is more capable, it's almost never about luck. It's almost also never about favoritism. I know you probably think about that, but no, it's usually about one of three things. And once I show you what these three things are, you start seeing them everywhere. So let's start with each one of them and how it basically goes. So number one, narrative control. Now, if you remember in episode 2, I told you how to make your work visible. Now, I want to build on what I did during that episode today, because there's a version of that advice that actually backfires. You see, here's the thing. Visibility without narrative control is not just unhelpful, it's dangerous. Es peligroso, señora. It can help you get seen for the wrong thing. So here is what happens when you make your work visible, but you don't own the story around it. The people in the room, they interpret it for you. And, people typically just default to the most conservative interpretation that is available. They see strong project delivery and they think, oh, that guy is reliable. Instead of thinking, oh, this person is ready for the next level. Or for example, they see you stepping up in a crisis and think this is a good problem solver, when really they should be thinking about this person operates above their current role. You see, the visibility is there. The problem is the narrative is wrong. And the wrong narrative repeated enough times becomes your ceiling. And what eventually happens is that less capable professionals do not just make their work visible. This is one thing. They shape how it gets interpreted before anyone else can. You see, they get to define what problem they are known for solving. They own their story. What makes them the obvious choice? They own that story. And what gets said when their name comes up in a room they are not in, they own that too. You see, you've been making your work visible, but you have been outsourcing the interpretation to other people. And other people, even the ones that like you, are too busy to tell your story at the right level. Hello, just want to bring something quick to your attention. Now, if you're enjoying this podcast and you're finding value in it and you like the opportunity to go deeper with me, well, I'd like to offer you something, and that's the Workplace Multiplier newsletter. This is a newsletter which I post Mondays to Fridays, and literally, I'm offering mentoring and coaching to workplace professionals on things which they have to deal with in the world of work. In addition to being part of that newsletter, you also get notification anytime I'm having Zoom trainings with members of my community. It's a wonderful opportunity where you can come, learn, and at the same time ask questions on things which you are facing in the world of work to be able to help you accelerate. One other additional incentive which I'm going to give you for being part of the Workplace Multiplier newsletter is you also get notification when there are goodies which I'm basically giving out, and opportunities for you to work with me one-on-one, which I basically sometimes never release to the public. You also get access to that. You find all that information, the link to join the Workplace Multiplier, you find it in the description, and I look forward to seeing you on the inside. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Now, let me tell you something. I love the TV show Suits. Now, if you've ever watched this, you've got to remember this scene. It's season 1, episode 1. Harvey Specter is interviewing Harvard's best, literally, top of the class, best pedigree in the country, most capable candidates available, literally on paper. Then Mike Ross walks in. You know what? The guy has no Harvard degree. He's running from the police. He's carrying a briefcase which is full of recreational drugs. Now, on paper, Mike had nothing. But watch what Mike does. Harvey starts to dismiss him like, hey, you have no degree. You don't have any interview position. Look, guess what? Mike does not apologize. He doesn't even try to explain. What he does is he seizes the narrative. He reframes the Harvard degree not as the credential it is, but as a limitation. So he does something. He repeats the penal code from memory. And yes, Mike has a photographic memory. It's a literal superpower. Then he says something. I am just as good as those guys, but I'm hungry. They are just entitled. You know what happens? In that one moment, Mike changed the question entirely. It was no longer who has the best degree. It became who has the most effective weapon. And guess what? Harvey hired him on the spot. Not because Mike was more capable on paper, but because Mike controlled the story before Harvey could write it for him. What you got to realize, your results are the penal code. You know them cold. The question really is this: are you reciting them with a story to back them up, or you're just waiting for someone else to create the story for you? Let's go to reason number 2, strategic proximity. And once again, I'm going to go back to this TV show Suits, because that show is basically a masterclass in what we're talking about. This time, we're going to be talking about Donna Paulson. Now, I know Donna is a fan favorite. People love her, and literally, she deserves that love. What can I say? Ella is fantastica. But I want you to look at her arc through a very cold and analytical lens, because from a strategic proximity standpoint, Donna Paulson is the undisputed heavyweight champion, really, in this case. Here's the reality. Pearson Hardman is one of the most elite law firms in New York. Capability is what really, really matters in that world, whereby you're talking about billable hours, legal strategy, winning in court. Now, guess what? Donna has none of those. And yet, by season 7, she demanded and received a senior partner title. No law degree, cannot bill a client, and definitely cannot even sign a legal motion. So how was she able to do this? She did not just sit outside of Harvey's office. She was a personal assistant. She basically engineered a reality where no information could leave Harvey or reach Harvey without passing through her first. People like Louis Litt did not go to Donna because they liked her. No, they went to her because she was the path to Harvey. She became the firm's shadow oracle. Then she even went further. She made herself have his emotional and operational anchor. Give him guidance about things like social cues, morality check. Look, literally, these are things that no job description could have captured. She made herself so embedded in his success that removing her would have cost him more than keeping her. And when she finally made her move for senior partner, her argument was not about legal expertise. It was literally about proximity. She said, I've been in the room where it happens for so long, I am now part of the room. Literally, she bypassed a decade of law school and associate grading. She got the post not by being the best lawyer, but by being the most powerful person in the building could not afford to move 3 desks away from. Now, here's what I want you to take from that. Less capable professionals who beat more capable professionals are almost always doing some version of what Donna did. They're not waiting to be invited into the spaces where decisions form. They are engineering access to those spaces deliberately and literally over time. You see, the problem here is this. More capable professionals assume that proximity comes from performance. You do a good job, you're going to get noticed. Once you get noticed, you're going to get invited. But that's not how it works. Proximity is not a reward for performance. It's a strategy. And less capable professionals have been executing that strategy while you've been waiting to earn it. You see, you've got to realize this. Strategic proximity is not about manipulation, and it's definitely not about become someone's personal assistant, right? It's about one honest question, just one. Where are the spaces, informal, unofficial, unscheduled, where the people who matter in my organization think through their hardest problems? And how can I become a genuine, useful presence in those spaces before an opportunity opens up? Definitely before, not after. So let's go to reason number 3, risk perception. Now, this is the one that surprises a lot of people most of the time. And this is probably the one that is costing a lot of capable professionals the most opportunities. You see, here's the thing about senior decision makers. They're not just asking who is the best person for this role. They're also asking who is the safest bet. Those are different questions. And they often produce different answers. You see, less capable people win because they make the decision makers feel safe, not by being better, but by being more predictable. Now, here's the problem. More capable professionals often create anxiety in decision making without realizing it. Look, it could be a case of their confidence is being thought of as being arrogant, their directness is being read as a management problem, and sometimes their high standards is being read as someone who is difficult to control at the next level. The decision maker looks at them and thinks, brilliant, but unpredictable. Then they look at the less capable professional and thinks, maybe not as sharp, but I know exactly what I'm getting. Unpredictable, brilliant loses to predictable, adequate at senior levels. Not because decision makers are foolish, but because managing unpredictability is expensive. Look, it's expensive. They don't want to invest their time. But let me be clear about this. I'm not telling you that you need to dim yourself down. And neither am I telling you that you need to hide your capability. What I am saying is this. Figure out what safety means to the specific person making the decision about you and give them that signal without compromising your standards. Very, very much important. Because right now, you may be brilliant and unreadable. And let me tell you this. Unreadable is expensive for the people betting on you. So now I want you to do something for me. I want you to think of one person right now, someone you think that is less capable than you, and who is ahead of you. It could be a peer, it could be a colleague, it could be someone in your organization, or even maybe someone in your industry. You kind of get the idea of who it is I'm talking about that I want you to imagine. Now, I need you to ask 3 questions thinking about this person. Number 1, do they have a clearer story about what they stand for than you do? When their name comes up, is there one crisp sentence people use? And let's come back to you. When your name comes up, what sentence do people use? And let me give you the harder question. Is that sentence describing you at your current level or at the next level? If you don't know, that's probably your first gap. Let me go to the second question. Do they show up in more of the informal spaces where decisions actually form. And I'm not talking about official meetings. I'm not talking about structured reviews. I'm talking about the conversations before the meeting, the moments where leadership thinks aloud. Are they in more of those spaces than you are? And is that by accident or by design? Because if the answer is by design, that probably is your second gap that you need to take note of. Let's go to the third question. Are they easier for decision makers to read than you are? Literally, do they make the people above them feel more certain about what they're getting? Or, now to you, are you the person leadership finds impressive but slightly unpredictable? Because if the answer is yes, that is your third gap. One of these three questions has an uncomfortable answer for you, and probably in some cases might actually be more than one. That's not a verdict on your capability. It's a map. And maps really are very useful because they show you exactly where you need to go. Now, out of the three things we've just covered, narrative control is where you probably can move the fastest. You see, strategic proximity takes time to build, and risk perception also takes time to shift. But your narrative, you can change how you are being read this week. So here's the one move that I really want you to do at this particular point in time. I want you to write one sentence, not your job titles, definitely not your list of responsibilities. The sentence that answers this question: when my name comes up in a room I'm not in, what do I want the next sentence to be? And, to give you a guide, you can use the structure. And the person who solves the specific problem for specific people so that a specific outcome that matters to leadership actually comes out. And that's it. Simple. One sentence. Once you have this, your job this week is to live into it, not announce it, and definitely not to post it on LinkedIn. It's not a social media action. It's just one conversation, one update, one moment where you basically demonstrate the power of that sentence, living up to it, rather than waiting for somebody else to write it for you. Back to my suit story. Mike Ross did not wait for Harvey to decide what he was. He told Harvey what he was before Harvey could decide for himself. Write the sentence. Leave it once this week. Pretty simple as that. So let's bring it all together. Less capable people are beating more capable ones in the workplace through three different things. Narrative control, they shape how they are read before somebody else can. Strategic proximity, they engineer access to spaces where decisions form before the opportunity opens. And then, of course, finally, risk perception, they make decision makers feel safe betting on them. None of these are luck. None of these are politics. They're basically skills, and skills can be learned. Like I've said, your one move this week is this. Write the one sentence that answers this. When my name comes up in a room I'm not in, what do I want the next sentence to be? Then you know what you got to do? Live it for once. One conversation, one moment, every single time this week. Now, we've talked about the trust map, and this week we've talked about why less capable people keep winning. In the next episode, I'm going to go deeper than both of those. The skill that got you to this level may actually be the same skill that is preventing you from going further. Not because you're doing it wrong, but because you're doing it too well and it has become your identity. Next episode is all about that moment when your greatest professional strength becomes your most expensive blind spot. So, until next episode, when I look forward to seeing you, keep winning at work and in